What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new Westworld Season 4 Episode 1 review. We're completely talking full spoilers over here. The episode just dropped, so hopefully you have already watched it. I just got done watching it, and I'm very excited to talk about this because I feel like I'm one of the few people who still really likes Westworld, and as a heads up, I'm a little bit under the weather. So I am chewing on something right now to help me kind of get through this with my sore throat. But I'm very much excited to keep talking about this. So if you guys are new here and you guys love talking movies and TV on a daily basis, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, as well as comment down below your guys' thoughts. Now, with every Westworld review, going back to when we had Season 3, I seriously cannot believe we already have Season 4 because I thought it was going to be years till we got this, but it's here. I like going character by character. Now, in this episode, we did not get anything for Bernard, Jeffrey Wright's character. Nothing for him, which is okay. I'm assuming he's coming up. Also, as well as Tessa Thompson's Charlotte Hale. Nothing for her yet. But the three main characters that we did get to focus on very much, particularly in here, was Evan Rachel Wood's Dolores, Thandie Newton's Maeve, and Aaron Paul's Caleb. As well as Ed Harris's William the Man in Black, who we got a little bit of in the beginning of this episode. Nothing too much, but the opening of this episode, starting with him, was fantastic. You already get that menacing thought, and I actually thought Ed Harris was a little bit wasted in the third season. I didn't think there was enough to him, and then the whole entire end credit scene with him was pretty damn confusing, which again doesn't tie into this. They've talked about how that scene will not tie in for years to come. I don't know how much of that is true because I'm still shocked that this even got renewed because, again, it seems like I'm one of the few people that still watches this show, but I know there is still a fan base out there, so thank you so much if you are one of those people who is watching this so we can keep talking about it. William is this very unique character from the very first season to the next, to the third season, and then even to now this one. And whatever these bug things that he was using, it just goes as far as what Westworld is about when it comes down to technology and everything of those aspects. But the other thing that's always been very important in its ways of speaking about technology, and very much how this show really ties into, is I don't think it's still as deep as, say, the first and second season I feel like were when it come down to thought-provoking elements and the humanity inside of us. What this season kind of started already reminding me of in this opening season was how important each and every character is. Now, and for me, really much, I think Evan Rachel Wood is really much the only important character when it comes down to that. I don't feel like Thandie Newton or Aaron Paul's character really much gets a lot of that depth. They're more on the action-y side. But the Man in Black, whatever he's trying to get, he will go to no ends to grab. And we see what he does with those bugs and capturing that guy's mind, and then having him kill his business associates, and then, getting what he wants, to then sending out these men to Thandie Newton's Maeve and Caleb, Aaron Paul's character, and hunting them down after the events of what happened in Season 3, which we know now that this season takes place 7 years after that, which, I'm going to be honest, I kind of wish we would have seen that in-between nature because Season 3 ended in such a dramatic avenue, which does have its ramifications and it affects to what has changed now in this season. And that's going to be interesting to see how the rest of the season goes, but I am really interested to see where this all goes now because Season 3 ended in such a way that I wasn't the biggest fan of it, but it was an interesting idea. Now, starting with and jumping over to Thandie Newton's character, Maeve has always been my favorite character, and she continues to still kind of be my favorite character. She's doing all this cool technology voodoo stuff that she has. We know she's always had these abilities. She's hiding out. She goes into town. They say, hey, some people are looking for you. She heads back, has the axe, has her sniper rifle, hunts down these guys, takes them all out one by one in such an awesome manner, and only a way that Maeve could possibly do so. And then she, trying to get into the question, nope, all right, close your eyes, slices his head off, ports right into him, finds out that it is William the Man in Black, and then she heads off, which we end up finding out that she's going over to find Aaron Paul's Caleb, who Caleb is now 7 years later, is married, has a kid, going back to construction, just living his ordinary life. And yeah, but his trauma, his PTSD, his wife thinks that maybe this isn't not for him. Maybe he's just, he should not be paranoid. Well, no, he should be because his daughter almost just died. Maeve saves them and all things like that. And again, that takes him on his journey, which for me, those two characters, bringing them back together, awesome. I'm happy it only took the one episode, and it seems like this season's moving a little bit faster paced than, say, the previous seasons of Westworld, which has some pros and cons to it. Again, I can only debate on the pros right now because we only have one episode, but let's see how the rest of the season goes before we can start debating that. Now, jumping into Evan Rachel Wood's character, Dolores, who I think gets the most interesting aspects of this entire episode. One, because the whole NPC video game background thing that she's working for and how she touches on the background characters, for me, might be one of the most interesting aspects, because there can be a debate on how Westworld works. And was her character an NPC in a sense, or was it not? Was she one of the most important characters? And obviously, in our eyes, she was one of the most important, but to some other people who had gone to Westworld, they might have just seen her as another passenger. And I think that's where it comes down to these interesting capabilities and how that's going to tie in. I am very interested to see how that all works and ties in. I actually believe that this is kind of a VR simulation. I don't think she's in our world. I truly just believe this is a VR simulation type thing. And I could be wrong. Maybe she's in that greater beyond. Again, I'm a little bit... don't remember everything from the last 3 seasons because it's been a while. But I believe that that greater beyond that they sent all the other avatars to could be something that maybe she is now in. I also could be completely wrong on that, and that could have been destroyed and I'm just completely forgetting, and you guys will definitely let me know down below in the comment section. But I also never believe that things in Westworld ever seem to die off. There's always a way to bring a character back in one way, shape, or another. And for me, and seeing Dolores in this, kind of in a way of state of happiness, but different than what we've seen, I love how Evan Rachel Wood has been able to really much develop this character, but do different versions of her in almost every single season. And now I'm interested to see how this all goes with the new parallels that they do towards, of course, the past of Westworld, but also to how it relates to her job, but then even diving into the emotional arc that she's probably going to have in here, especially when we see that James Marsden Teddy shows right back up at the very end. And I love Teddy. I love James Marsden as an actor. I loved him as Teddy in the first few seasons. I was really sad when he died off. But again, I knew eventually he was probably going to come back, and here he is. And how is this all going to tie in? Is he going to be a pretty big main character in this? Is he not? Again, this was just an episode to kind of get us back on board into Westworld. And it's kind of a nice resetting of everything that had happened in Season 3. Even though I do kind of wish we would have had an in-between kind of conversation to see what had been going on in that little bit of time period. But again, when it comes down to it, I don't know what the creators' plans are. So maybe they were only told they're only going to get 2 more seasons, and it's like, okay, we just got to do this. Or maybe this was the plan all the way along, was to just jump forward. I think there's pros and cons to all that, like I mentioned, but overall I'm very much excited to keep continuing talking Westworld, and I'll definitely see you guys next Wednesday when we talk Westworld's Season 4, Episode 2 next week. So thank you so much again for watching. Comment down below your guys' thoughts. Hopefully next week I'm feeling a little bit better, and I can actually talk a little bit faster, and just in general, more. So thank you so once again so much, and of course, until next time, stay classy.